was kind of a weird day because the system, like the course, the OLS wasn't working. That was really goofy. And then I know that some of you had questions about your homework. Okay, so real quick about the homework. 0B.05 I combined with 0B.02. So when you did your homework on Tuesday, there was like 4 problems. So you did problems 1 through 4. Then Friday, I wanted you to log back into that same homework, and you're completing the last 4 problems. I know that there was some confusion because I had created 2 separate assignments for 0B2 and 0B5, but I went in and totally deleted the 0B05 because I know some of you were trying to access it and it was locked. So I went in and just deleted that, so that way you're not confused. So if you went to the gradebook and you saw you got a 5 out of 10 on that homework, it's probably just because you didn't do the last 4 problems. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And then I think that should be. Is there any other questions about homework? Okay, so if you finished it, I'm going to try to get to it today and grade it. The reason I put this homework together is because I wanted some of you are doing your homework and like I'm making comments or circling things for you, leaving you some feedback in the course, but I don't always see you going back to review it. So I just want to make sure that when you submit your homework, you understand, like, check for feedback. Okay, if you didn't get a 100, because I don't want you to think you're doing it right, but really there's something we need to fix. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, let me go over some of this lesson, and then I think that will help you with number 8 on the homework, if that's okay. All right, so if you want to go ahead and pull up that homework, you can. And then today there is a quiz in the course over factoring quadratic trinomials. I would recommend you do the homework first to, like, as a little practice. If you get the homework or you feel really confident doing the homework, then go ahead and hop in, take that quiz. Okay? Awesome. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do before we can factor is we need to identify A, B, and C in a standard form. So A, B, and C, we can identify them only when this is set equal to 0. Okay? So for number 1, it says identify the A, B, and C. So this is technically set equal to 0, although it's not drawn. We know that it would be equal to 0. So my first one, A, would be the number in front of x squared. If there isn't a number, we know that it is a 1. The second number, B, is the number in front of x. So we need to include the sign. So it'd be 3. Whoops. Let me erase that and try again. There we go, 3. And then our C is going to be the constant. So 8. Richard, we know it's equal to 0 because it doesn't say it's equal to something else. So that's how we would know it's equal to 0. Over here, it's equal to 2. So we have to move that 2 to the other side first. Yeah, Stormy. So I'm going to go over like factoring in this lesson. Okay. Alrighty, so let's try the second one. Subtract 2 from both sides because we have to get this equal to 0. Once we do that, now we get 2x squared minus 4x plus 2, and it equals 0. So now we can identify A, B, and C. So our A value is 2. Our B value, remember we have to include that sign in front, and then our C is plus 2. The reason we are going through how to identify these is because we're going to use a method for factoring called the Asterik method. And the Asterik method requires us to be able to identify A, B, and C. I think the Asterik method is the best way to factor, especially when your A value is greater than 1. So let's talk about this Asterik method. The Asterik method, you're going to draw a star. So an asterisk looks like, yep, exactly like what you typed out, Angel. Looks like this little star. We are going to identify A, B, and C. So your A values are going to go in the top left and right. And then in the top middle, you're going to multiply A times C. The bottom is going to have that B value. So what we're looking for then is we're looking for two numbers to put one here and one where the question mark is. We're looking for two numbers that when you multiply them, they equal the top. When you add them, they equal the bottom. Okay, so let's try this as a practice. We're going to factor 12x squared minus 5x minus 2. So first identify A, B, and C. So A, B, and C. So what would my A value be? Okay, good, Zoe. Exactly. Yep, 12. Yep, just the number in front. Okay, just the number in front. What is my B value? -5. Good. And what is my C value? -2. Yep, don't forget the sign that's in front. All right, so now I'm going to come down here to my asterisk, and I'm going to fill these in. So A was 12, so 12 and 12. A times C, so 12 times -2 gives me -24. And B down here would be -5.
This looks like it's going to be interesting because no multiples of 5 get you to 24. They get you to 25.
We're not doing multiples. So what we're doing now is the top number. So we want to find factors that multiply together to give us the top, but add to give us the bottom. So we have, since it's -24, one of the multiples has to be positive, one has to be negative. So multiples of 24 would be 1 times 24, that's here, 2 times 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. And again, one's positive, one's negative. So when I add these together, 1 plus -24, I get -23, which does not equal -5. So that is not our answer. 2 and -12. So 2 plus -12 is -10. Or if we flip them and said -2 and 12, we still get +10. So that's no. 3 and -8 does give us -5. So what that means is we take 3, plug it in one of our missing spaces, take -8, and plug it in the other missing space. Now, we are going to take these fractions. Okay, so we have 12 and 3, 12 and -8. We're going to go ahead and reduce them. So we're going to simplify. 12 divided by 3 would be 4. So 4 over 1. This is our new fraction. And then 12 divided by 8. If I divide both of these by 4, I get 3 over negative 2. So let me tell you why this is so awesome. This Asterik method works. The reduced fractions are the factors. So the top of the fraction goes with the variable. So 4 goes with x, and 3 is going to go with x. The bottom number, 1, whoopsies, let me use my highlighter, 1 and negative 2 are what we're going to add or subtract. So we get 4, that goes with the x, and then plus 1, that's a positive 1, 3 with the x minus 2. When I multiply this out, that would give me back to my original trinomial. If you do not use the Asterik method, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know how you would factor except to just ask yourself, like, okay, what two numbers could I multiply to get 12? Which would be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So you'd have to do a lot of guess and check. The Asterik method gives you the numbers, you simplify them, and write them as two factors. So in my opinion, it's easiest, and it works for every trinomial. You can even use it when a does equal 1. Okay, let's try another one like this. So I have the directions over here written on the side. So we've got 4x squared minus 15x minus 25. So we need to identify A, B, and C. So we would have A, B, C. So our A value is going to be 4. B is negative 15, and C is negative 25. Let's go ahead and draw our asterisk and write our numbers in. So we're going to have 4 and 4, negative 100, and negative 15. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Y'all let me know if you have questions.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
How do you know that C is negative 25?
Because C, based on our standard form of an equation, C is just the constant or the number being added or subtracted at the end. So since this said 4x squared minus 15x minus 25, we know that that C is negative 25. Good question.
Okay, so I want to know something. How did you get negative 100?
So the top middle in your asterisk is A times C. So 4 times negative 25 would give us negative 100.
Oh, okay.
Good
Never
question.
mind then.
No, you're good. That's a good question.
Ma'am, could you repeat my question? I was having technical difficulties at that point. I'm sorry.
Could I do what, Caitlin? Sorry.
Could you repeat my I asked how do you know that C is negative 25? Could you repeat that?
Okay, so over here, this is the standard form of a trinomial. Ax squared plus bx plus c. So c is going to be the constant number in your trinomial, which means it's the number that's not tied to any variable. In this case, it is right here, minus 25. So because it doesn't have an x squared or an x, that makes it our c, or our constant. Good question. Okay, so now we have done step 1 and step 2. So we're going to now find the factors that multiply to give us the top number, but add to give us the bottom number. So when we are talking about negative 100, we would have 1 and 100, 2 and 50, 4 and 25, 5 and 20, and then 10 and 10. Now, remember, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Since our answer on the bottom is a negative number still, we're going to assume that it's the bigger number that's negative. So I'm going to make all of these on the right side negative. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is go through and add them all. And I want to find two numbers that add together to give me negative 15. So this would give me negative 99. So that doesn't work. This gives me negative 48, negative 21, boom, negative 15. And then this would give me 0. So get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that. So that means my numbers are 5 and negative 20. I'm going to pause in case anyone has any questions about how I got those two numbers.
So the first number that includes X is going to be the first A, and then the second number that includes X is.
Are you talking about how to fill out this asterisk or how to write them?
Yes, yes, that's my question.
Okay, so A is the number in front of X squared. The number in front of X squared here was 4, so that's why it went here. B is the number in front of X, and you have to include the sign that's with it. And then C is just your constant number without a variable. Okay, so now that I've got these two fractions, I'm going to simplify if I can. I cannot simplify this fraction on the left, 4/5, but I can simplify 4 over negative 20. So I'm going to divide this top and bottom by 4. So when I do that, I'm going to get 1 over negative 5. Okay, that was step 4. So step 5, which is our last step, says the reduced fractions form the factors. The top of the fraction goes with the variable. So we would have 4x and 1x, or just x. The bottom number is the second number that is added or subtracted. So this is a positive 5, so that would be plus 5. This is a minus 5. And then this is your final answer.
Miss, I just joined, so I missed like the entirety of how we got to this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do another one and try to help with some of the homework, but maybe you'll catch on this one, or if not, the recording would be a really helpful thing.
I know how to factor the trinomials without the number in front of 4 in front of x2. X squared. I know how to factor.
Right. So this Asterik method that I'm teaching you is a way to factor trinomials when your number in front of x squared is bigger than 2. So I'm gonna do another one, and maybe that you'll kind of catch on to that. But this is called the Asterik method. It works for all trinomials. Yeah, we are glad you're here. Okay, so let's do this one. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to kind of re-explain this here, Ward. This is our standard form of a trinomial. So ax squared plus bx plus c. So we are going to identify what is a. So a is the number in front of the variable squared. B is the number in front of just the variable. And then c is going to be your constant. Yay, Angel, that's awesome. So we're going to now list out A equals, B equals, C equals. So we're just going to keep ourselves organized here. So A would be 5, B would be 19, and C is going to be 12. Okay, so far all we've done is just identify A, B, and C. Okay, now so that was step 1. This is our asterisk that we're going to use. So we're going to draw ourselves the star. On the top left, we're going to put the number for A. So that would be 5. And that 5 also goes on the top right. Now, in the top middle, we're going to multiply A times C. So 5 times 12, which would be 60. And then the bottom B is you just plug in B, which is 19. Okay, does that kind of make sense what we're doing there? Okay, now that we have this, we are going to step 3. We're going to find the factors that multiply to give us the top number. So our top number was our A times C. So we're going to come over here and say, okay, 60. What are my factors of 60? I would have 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, and then 6 times 10. Okay? So I'm just listing out the factors, the two numbers I can multiply together to get 60. Okay, now I'm going to check my bottom number here. The B is 19. And since it's positive, that means that both of these, since 60 is positive and 19 is positive, they're both going to be positive. So I'm going to keep both of my factors positive. So I'm just going to go through and add them all together. Okay, so 1 plus 60, 61. We would get 32, 23, 19, and 16. So I want the two factors that add up to 19. So that means I'm going to use 4 and 15. So my question marks that were over here in the original, okay, I'm going to fill those in now with my two factors. So 4 and 15. Okay, so that was step 3. We found our two factors. Now, step 4 says, if possible, reduce the fractions. So 5/4 on the left does not reduce, but 5/15 does. So we're going to reduce that to 1/3. So I divided the top and the bottom by 5. Top and bottom divided by 5. Yeah, of course.
I understand now. Thank you.
Yay. Okay, good. Okay, so now that was step 4. Step 5, the reduced fractions form the factors. So the top number is 5. That goes with x. The second number is what I add or subtract if it was negative. But since they're both positive, we're going to add them. So 5x plus 4, and then 1x or just x plus 3. And those are our factored forms. Okay, yeah, I'll pause here for a second.
Miss, after this, can you give us one so that we do it by ourselves?
Sure. Yeah, actually, I have a multiple choice one that we're going to do right after this. Okay, so on the left, down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, those are all the factors of 60. So I go through and I ask myself, okay, what two numbers can I multiply to get 60? So 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, and then 6 times 10. We're looking for the two numbers, so two multiples that add together to give us B. Yes. Yep, so we got to add them together, and then that we're looking for the two that add together to give us B. Yes, good question. And then the top number goes next to our X. The bottom number, we either add or subtract it. In this case, we're adding because it's a positive. All right, so let's try one where you're going to do this on your own. So on the STAR test, they rarely ask you like for both factors here. They try to trick you and say, okay, what's one of the factors? So you're going to do the asterisk method here to write out both of your factors and then choose which one. Okay, I'm going to set up a poll and I will help you get started. But I know some of you want to try on your own. So I don't want to take that opportunity away from you. So A, B, and C, I've listed out what their numbers are. So now you're going to draw your asterisk, plug in your numbers, and then that will put you at step 3. So if you need any help, let me know. I can go ahead and draw that for you as well. Since our top number, A times C, is negative, that means one of the factors has to be negative. Okay, since the bottom number is also negative, that means our bigger number is going to be negative. I'm going to go ahead and write out our factors of 6 down here. So we would have 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Remember, one of these has to be negative, so we're going to let the bigger number be negative. So now you're going to add those together to find the one that equals -5. And the two numbers, you're going to plug one on the left, one on the right. All right, so if I add these together, I would get -5 and -1. So we're going to use 1 and -6. So 1 and -6. Now, when I write these out, the top number goes with X. So X plus 1 and X minus 6. So that means A, which 70% of you got that right. Yay! Would be your answer. Good job.
I have a question.
Sure.
even though I got A right, when I wrote the equation, can I just write x plus x, or that would be something?
Well, it's not x plus x, because that would be 2x. So it's x plus 1. So the variable only goes with the top term of each of these. You would choose x minus 6 because this is your factored form, x plus 1 times x minus 6. So it's asking which of these, there's 4 options, is a factor, meaning which of these on the left, A, B, C, or D, can we multiply to get x squared minus 5x minus 6. All right, let's try another one. So which function is equivalent to f of x equals 6x squared minus 13x plus 5? Let me remind you of the Asterik method again, just in case you didn't write it down. Okay, so you're going to figure out what is A, what is B, what is C. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds and then I'll fill those in just for any of you that are working on your own. I don't want to give away the answer if you're trying to do it on your own. All right, so our A value would be 6, B is negative 13, and C is 5. So we're going to take those numbers and plug them in to our asterisk. So what I'm now looking for is 2 numbers that multiply together to give me 30, but add together to give me negative 13. So here's a hint. When your bottom number is negative, that means and your top number is positive. That means both factors are going to be negative. So it's going to be negative 1 times negative 30 or negative 2 times 15. So let's go ahead and write out our factors. So negative 1, negative 30, negative 2, negative 15, negative 3, negative 10, negative 5, negative 6. Questions? Are we doing okay? So far it looks good. All right, so when we add these together, we would get negative 31, negative 17, negative 13, and negative 11. So that means we want to use this negative 3 and negative 10. So we're going to put negative 3, negative 10. So the reason we're doing negative 3 and negative 10 is because they have to equal this negative 13 here. They have to match. Okay, but why is there a 2 where? Because you have to simplify. So we have to simplify 6 divided by negative 3. So if I divide the top and bottom by 3, I would get 3. Oh, sorry, by 3 would be 2. Ignore me for a second. Okay, so it'd be 2 over negative 1. Yep, and then if we multiply the top and bottom here by 2, we would get 3 over negative 5. And then write it out. So that would be 2x minus 1 and 3x minus 5. And again, with multiplication, the order doesn't matter. So obviously B is your correct answer. Good job, guys. Good. Okay, so there were some of you that had a question on the homework about number 8. So I'm gonna kind of get you started on number 8, and then let you go work on that. So this is number 8. Whoops, where's my pen? There we go. So number 8 is 3x squared minus 9x minus 84. All right, so you can use the Asterik method here. So A would be 3, B is negative 9, and then C is negative 84. We'll go ahead and fill in. So we get 3, 3, negative 9, and let's see, what is 3 times negative 84? What? 252. So obviously, 252 is like a huge number, and we're going to have numbers that are pretty close because we are going to end up with negative 9. So when we write out multiples of 252, I'm going to skip a few here. So let's do we would have 12 and 21. Oh, wait, this is negative. That's why. Okay. So one's positive, one's negative, since the top is negative. The bottom is also negative, so that means the bigger number we're going to make negative. So I'll just give you a hint. These are the 2 factors you're going to use. And then you can simplify and write them as 2 factors, okay? All right, so that is all that